Hey everyone, so this tutorial is how to add assignments or quizzes that you can do straight from Google Classroom using forms. And again, this works really well when you want to do an assignment or a quiz that will require any type of image to be used. So the first thing that you're going to want to do is, of course, open up whatever class you want to do the assignment on. And you're going to go to the top and you're going to click on classwork, which is where you're going to create topics or assignments and anything else like that. I already have this particular two topics opened up simply because of the tutorial. I can show you later how to do the different fonts and all that stuff. But for right now, what we're going to do is we're going to click that black button. It says create. I usually like to use the one that says quiz assignment because that already comes with an automatic form if you're going to want to do forms. If you're going to do an external assignment, for example, you click on assignment. This is for when you're going to add an external assignment, maybe from Google Slides or any other source. But if you're going to want to create an assignment from Google Classroom, I suggest that you use the one that says quiz assignment, because if you notice, it generates a blank form for you. Even though it says blank quiz, don't worry about that. It's not going to come out as a quiz, so you can always change that function. It's not a hindering situation where you can't use it as an assignment. So, of course, you're going to create your title and whether it's a quiz or an assignment, whatever you want to label it. Let's just say assignment number 1, just for purposes of being general. And here you would put your instructions. So, complete the following assignment by answering all the questions, etc. You can also add further instructions of any kind. You can add a specific file or a resource if that assignment correlates to anything else that you're using. If not, you would just click where it says blank quiz on that form and it opens it up for you automatically. So to change the title, you're just going to click where it says blank quiz, and right away it opens it up for you. And so you would again title it whatever it is that you're going to want to title it. Okay, now from this point on, you can add a description if you want. You can put maybe the week number if you want to do week 1, whatever it is that you want to put in there as far as a description. Now where it says untitled question, you're just going to tap on that or click on that, depending if you're using an iPad or a computer, and that's where you would add your question. So, for example, let's say that you're using, those of you that teach guitar or tablature things, you would just select, for example, select the correct chord name for the following or whatever. Just select the correct chord name. It's up to you. Now here on the right side, you have options of changing the question to whatever you want to do it. Like for example, when I want to do a question that's a long answer, I click on paragraph. You could do a short answer if you want. I put it as paragraph just so that I won't limit and there's no issues with how many characters are going to go in there. But this would be a really great way, for example, if you're doing a music type of review on a particular video. For example, I've done where I link YouTube videos to the specific assignment on the description in the form that we had before in this section. I'll have them review the YouTube video, and then I'll say what was the style of this piece, and they'll answer, or what was the emotion the composer was trying to demonstrate and why, and so forth. Those are for like longer answers if that's something that you want to do, maybe more of an analysis thing. But if you want a simple multiple choice, you would do that. So for example, like the sample that we were working on, what is the name for the following chord? Okay, so you would add your options. Now here, if you want to add a picture to the question, make sure that you click the picture box that's next to the the question right there. I don't know if you saw me click on that. It opens up right in between where it says multiple choice and where it says what is the following chord. There's a little picture icon that will pop up. If you do that, you're going to get the option. Now, I had already some for this tutorial saved on my Google Drive. I personally save all my things on my Google Drive prior to making my lessons just because it's easier to navigate and find. So for example, let's say that you want them to name that particular chord. So now that little picture is attached to the question. Now, and I know it's a little bit big. You would just click on it and then you would just resize it. I apologize for that. I'm on my iPad, so sometimes it can get a little tricky to resize. But yes, you would just resize it according to whatever size you want it to be. And then below that, then you would click the options. You would just click where it says option 1. So you would put like D major, then click where it says add option, E major, click A major, and then let's put C major, for example. Okay, now what you want to do is you want to go to the bottom corner of the question where it says required, and you want to toggle that, because if you don't put required, they can submit the quiz or the assignment without having to have answered that question. Okay, so on the bottom left, that's where you'll click, right? Answer key. And so now you'll see where it says 0 points here at the top on the right-hand top corner. You want to select that section and change the point value. So for example, if you're doing a 10 question quiz or assignment, more than likely each question is going to be worth 10 points. So you want to assign the value of points to each question and then select the right answer, whatever the answer is. And if you want to add any type of feedback, you click add feedback if they answer incorrectly or correctly, and so forth. You click done, and that's your question. So now let's add another question. We're going to click that little plus sign right there, and it opens up a little question. Now let's try a different type of question where instead of a main image that they have to select the answer for, we're actually going to make the answer choices images. So for example, this would be the opposite of what we just did. Select the correct pattern for a D major chord, right? So instead, I know that prior to this, if we clicked on that, we would get that little image icon in between multiple choice and where you type the question. This time, we're going to click where it says option 1. And at the end of that line, we'll click on that again. There we go. You see that little icon for a picture. Now you're going to click on that. And again, I already have it saved into my various folders. I'm going to open it up and do the same thing as I did earlier, except this time the actual choices are pictures. So now your choice, it's just labeled. You don't have to label it as anything because your option is the picture. But if you want to label it, you can leave it as 1 if you want, or option 1, how it had it, or just delete it completely. You're gonna add another one. Same thing. Click at the end of the line and find whatever image it is that you're going to use for this particular question. I'm gonna insert that. and that's what you have at this point. So again, at the bottom, you're going to click required. And then you're going to click on the bottom left answer key to make sure you, for example, 10 points per question. And then you're going to select the right one, the right chord for whatever it is that you're doing, or the right answer. I apologize, the right answer. And you're going to click done, and now that's the way that looks. Okay, so this is a very simple way of adding images as a selection for your quizzes without actually having to create your own PDF, and it'll grade it. Now, at the top right hand corner, it does say send. I just usually leave that alone. What I do is I go back to my tab that I had my classroom in, and then you'll select whatever classes. So if you only want it for that one class, you'll just do it for that one class. Or if you want it for all your classes, I only have that sample, my sample classes and one other class I'm working on right now. But most of you will have 3, 4, 5, 6 classes depending on your schedule. So if you want to assign that assignment, let's say for all your beginner classes, and you have 3 beginner classes, then you would select all 3 classes. And if it's a varsity group assignment, then you would only select the varsity group and so forth. Now, if there's particular students, I have my husband as a student so that we could see the student view on it added to this class. But usually, let's actually see if I still have my students from last year saved on here. It doesn't, so that's okay. You would just select either all students, or let's say that this particular assignment is only for the students, let's say in your varsity class that are a particular section. So then you would only select the kids for that particular section and so forth. Assign the point value, okay, and then assign a due date if you're going to give it one. And then assign a topic if you already have one. So for example, week 1, if I personally put them all under weeks, and next to the weeks usually I'll put a date just so that they can keep track. And then if you want to add a specific rubric, I just leave it as is. If you notice below the assignment 1, it says grade importing. You want to make sure you have that in so that it automatically imports the grades for you. Now again, if you want to attach it to a tutorial video of any kind, or an explanation, or a PDF or resource, you just click add, and any type of file, the kids will be able to see that as well attached to that particular assignment. Then all you're going to do is click assign. Now, if you click that drop down, you can schedule it or save it as a draft. I'm the type of person that likes to work in the evenings a lot more, especially, so most of us are going to be teaching during the day. I like to work in the evenings, but I also like to work beyond hours that I want to be sending my students notifications from, whether it's 10, 11 p.m. So I don't want to upload it because I don't want to give them a notification at that time. And I also don't want them to feel the need to send me any type of questions or concerns at that hour when I send an assignment. So if it's late at night, I would suggest that you click schedule, and you can schedule the time that you actually want that to go live on your Google Classroom. If you wanted to go right away, just click where it says assign, which we're going to do. And if you see the warning, it'll say students will see the assignment in their streams immediately, and you click assign and it will come out. We should be able to see the student view here. If I click edit, we should be able to see. There we go. Okay. So this is what the kids will be able to see. If you notice, for the question 1, where we added the image as part of the question, it shows up with the answer choices below. And for question 2, where we actually put pictures as the options, you notice one of them I said option 1, one of them I just put 2. Again, you could label them as answer 1 or answer choice 1 or answer choice 2, however you want to label them. And this is what the kids would see. Okay, now if the kids want to send a response of their questions, then they would do that, and then they would just click submit. Okay, now you don't worry if you make a mistake. Usually when I'm working on these things, I'll save them as drafts before publishing them so that I can see this view that I'm showing you guys. Because for example, oh man, you know what? I didn't label them the same. I don't know like what that looks like. You can always edit the quiz. So, it'll open up the edit form section again. And then you just click whatever you want to edit. So, answer choice, I could just label it answer choice number 2. There we go. And then change it to answer choice number 1. Now I'm happy with my edits. Just be real careful not to click that X at the end, because that actually deletes your whole question, not what you typed. And then you just go back and it'll be live again. And you don't have to really do anything about it once you do that. You don't have to resend it, because then the kids will get it. For example, I just closed it, but if I were to open it again, it's already updated. So it updates in real time, and then you would be able to go back and actually upload it once you're done with that. So I tend to like to save it as a draft first for that. So that's a way that you can actually create Google forms as assignments or quizzes for, music things with images for that.